Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are here on a Monday night because tomorrow is Independence Day. We're celebrating the country tomorrow. USA. So we didn't want to do an episode on July 4th. I mean, come on. So as I mentioned last week, we're going to do our Secret Invasion Episode 2 tonight. Deucecast Extra is the TV wing of the Deucecast movie empire. We release a podcast every Wednesday about movies. We're releasing a very prescient episode tomorrow or Wednesday. The Samuel L. Jackson tournament is on Wednesday. So that's prescient to the conversation. It does align well. Garrison, you were here briefly last week. How did your appearance on the Comic Binge go last week?
Yeah, I went great.
You did Flash, right?
Yeah, we talked about Flash recommendations. I got to talk about my favorite Flash stories and how I talked a little bit about how I got into the character and how I don't really know a moment in my life where I haven't been a Flash fan. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
wow,
a big part of my life.
That's a long way back.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And I believe Mr. Andrew Haley is of the Comic Binge ilk or fan or listener.
Yeah,
or
I saw him in the chat over there.
Okay,
so yeah,
right on.
Yeah.
Andrew, welcome. First time hanging out with us. Always appreciate new listeners, watchers, viewers, whatever. Matt, what's going on? Matt joined us in fact, it was his episode on Wednesday. He put together the...
He was the spark that lit the fire.
Created
the tournament.
The Samuel L. Jackson.
Matt Mink has returned.
Somehow Matt Mink has returned, exactly. Rhett, how's your week been? You mean you've seen some amazing movies in the theater this week?
Just amazing. Yeah, the last week I've gotten to see, of course, Dial of Destiny, and
of course, which we'll be talking about Thursday.
We don't talk about it.
Asteroid City, which
has
made me afraid to watch any other movies for fear that they may be like Asteroid City.
I really thought about this, Rhett, over the weekend. I was like, Rhett needs to watch Moonrise Kingdom to understand.
Oh, he hasn't seen that.
Good Wes Anderson.
Oh, that's good Wes Anderson.
You went into really...
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of Wes Anderson, and I've never been I'm not a big fan, but Asteroid City, which I get what they were trying to do.
Right.
It wasn't well executed. It didn't come across right, and really I wanted to end it all there.
Dude. That's too bad.
Let me derail the conversation further and talk about my pretentiousness. I ordered a Whit Stillman trilogy box set. Because I loved Metropolitan so much that I've got to see the rest.
So what does that include? The last
Barcelona and the last Tango in Paris. I'm sure.
Tango, yeah. Okay.
Oh, Matt in the chat says he's looking forward to. Matt, save yourself. Okay.
No,
save yourself.
Well, I can't recommend it unless you really like. Yeah.
I've gone back and reevaluated what I think about Terrence Malick after this movie. Like I think he's great. Like this puts now Tree of Life is like way up here compared to baseline.
If that's all we needed to accomplish that, Rhett, then thank you. I'm excited about that.
The average viewer watching Tree of Life wouldn't even understand what is happening on the screen.
Yeah.
No, and I feel like I'm beyond the average viewer, and I understood it and I hated it. Like I hated everything about it.
Wait, are we talking about Asteroid City or Tree of
Life?
That
too. Yeah,
that too. But
I'm here to talk about Secret Invasion.
I know.
We're
just going through
the TV wing.
Sorry, this is the TV. You're right. We're going to be talking about that later.
I will say I do think this episode has a connection to the Flash that we'll get to when we get to it.
Okay. So of course this episode of Secret Invasion is called Promises, which is
promises are made to be
broke. Yeah, exactly. And apparently this whole season is directed by Ali Salim. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times.
It was originally split between two directors, and the second director couldn't do it, so he just directed the entire season.
So that's actually cool. I like that we're having the same director all through. I mean, a lot of times for TV that doesn't necessarily matter, but I think this will be good for this series. I mean, it's only 6 episodes, so
it's fine.
Ted, what's up, buddy? So let's kind of go through this. I mean, can I be completely honest about this episode?
Always be honest, Mike.
It took me 3 times to watch it because the first 2 times I fell asleep. So that And now that's probably because I kept trying to watch it too late.
Hey, Michael, too late.
I started at like midnight, and I just could not stay awake. Like I'd wake up halfway through the episode, I'm like, crap, I missed stuff. And so I finally watched it today with subtitles. Stayed awake the whole time.
Good. That's the way to do it.
You know.
Yeah, staying awake. Yes.
Staying awake is a good way to watch it.
Okay, Ted. Ted, stop watching Doomcock.
No,
Stop
it's
watching Doomcock.
True.
Hearing a tumor.
Lucasfilm is in a shambles. I'm telling you, Kathleen Kennedy's gone. You're right, Ted. With you, Ted.
Stop watching Doomcock and all of those guys.
It's all real.
It's none of it is real. It's all ridiculous internet nonsense.
You'll see.
Lucasfilm is just fine. Everything's
Well,
fine.
Well,
I think Hollywood has a real budget issue. We'll say that, but we'll talk about that Thursday.
Yeah, that's another.
That's
This again. This is the TV wing, Ted. We can't.
Okay, all right. I don't want to get off on all of that. I don't want to go. No, we're not going to do that.
We're not doing that tonight.
Not saying KK is gone. Okay, whatever. I mean,
I
we'll see what happens. On the 5th, they're doing that on July 5th. That's hilarious, but whatever. All right, let's kind of break this down. We started the episode, and here's what I like about the way they're doing this series. At least they're showing us a little like background stuff that we may have forgotten from Captain Marvel. I liked that little scene at the very beginning.
We did it a little bit
talked
of that.
about.
Yeah.
We talked about last week. Then we didn't have that last week.
That we didn't have that exactly.
I almost feel like they should have released the first 2 episodes.
So that would be good for somebody like Brian, who
that's
did
a
not
good
see Captain Marvel and probably
Yes.
will never see Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Is if they show little scenes like that, could have been, you know.
And let's say the Nick Fury de-aging is actually pretty good in this.
It's not bad.
Series. Yeah,
I was
bad.
surprised
Rhett's looking-
by them doing it.
Yeah, there were some moments that were. I mean, that's the nature of that.
Well,
you have to understand that your brain also won't. You know it's de-aged, so your brain won't let you get there. But I thought there were some issues with it, that it didn't look great in some places. They always struggle with like a mouth and things.
Oh well, yeah, the mouth is always the struggle.
I didn't think it was great, but it wasn't distractingly bad. It wasn't like a Superman bad or whatever from.
Yeah, the lip. Yeah.
The great lip. So yeah, the episode started in 97. You know, where
Is that when you were born?
Yes,
that's when he was born.
Gosh.
That's appropriate.
Oh wow, I won't even tell him where
You've
I was
got
in 96.
Talos. Well, we know the first. Don't we get the introduction to Gravik, a young Gravik?
He's an orphan.
He's an orphan. Yeah, so we get a little background on Gravik.
Parents killed in the Kree War.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump your thing, Michael.
No. That's exactly. We're just kind of diving in here. And Talos and Nick Fury are kind of addressing the refugees that are on the planet, and everybody joins in with Nick Fury, because what else are they going to do? Say no? I mean,
Well,
no.
he makes a pretty big promise. I mean, it's
He and Danvers are going to go and find them a planet.
That's not.
which,
it's not a good.
Which is stupid on its face, because
Not a good promise to make.
yeah.
only one race in that room is spacefaring.
Yes, right.
It's not the one promising to go find a new planet.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Carol Danvers.
We've got the Hubble telescope.
If you had Danvers in that room saying that, I feel like it would be more of a betrayal.
Right.
But it's Fury over promising something that he can't really deliver on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's not a good sales tactic. He hasn't seen Glengarry Glen Ross, apparently. He's just
Always be closing.
Yeah, he's not closing well in that case. He's
Should've been
over-promising.
You share some tech with us, we'll get you home. That's what it should have been.
Well, I mean, and that even comes up a little bit on.
I assume they did, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course they did.
Well,
and he used them.
He's gonna
And
use
apparently he is using the Kree, or the Skrull, I'm sorry, a lot for covert missions, and I mean he's using them a lot for that type of stuff, because that comes up on the conversation within the train, where thanks Andrew, I like the posters myself. What do we think about that conversation on the train? How about just the context of the conversation?
I rewatched it twice tonight.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I think now I appreciate it. At first, go ahead, Garrison.
No, go on.
No, I just tell me something I don't know. I mean,
I thought the "tell me something I don't know" device was an interesting way of doing exposition. I didn't hate that. I think there should be less setup for it. Just go into it.
Yeah.
Tell me something I don't know about.
Right.
This.
So, yeah, don't tell us the whole reason why you're using that as a device.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going through this whole story.
Well, but that's disarming. Yeah.
Well, what did they do that? They're trying to relate the two stories.
Yeah.
To Fury's past and some of the struggles that he went through to the current situation, which they're not the same in any way, really.
No,
this is more of an immigration. Or this is the story here is much more of an immigration, more like a border, like a undocumented type immigration issue than what Fury was kind of lecturing about on the train. There, one of the things that took me out of that right away is these Ruskies come to the door or whoever looking for a black.
Why would we have a black man on a train?
Well, first of all,
Moscow?
How'd you get him on the train? How are you going to get him? How are you going to get him off the train? Like this is an easy. Like this is you don't have to track him down on the train. You track him down when the train stops and he gets off the train. Right? That's easy stuff.
Yeah.
Right. You're thinking about the show too much.
Well, I know I do, but that just right away it took me out of it, and where he's just he's a wanted fugitive, right? And he's kind of walking around like a young.
But he had that hat on, and he had the glasses.
I do like the hat.
He's 6 foot
and the big beard,
black guy in Russian. Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
That, in the context, I mean, look, I like the Alabama stuff because I'm in Alabama.
Right.
That was fun. Apparently, canonically, this version of Nick Fury born in Huntsville.
Correct.
Yeah. So that was fine. It I think they were trying to lean into the racial aspect of his youth.
Yes.
In a way to relate to this other story. And I don't think it worked because they are very different premises.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. That's
it was an attempt.
And I also am a bit confused about, and I know Talos has been obviously on the planet since the 90s. So he's probably taken in a lot of American history and maybe can relate a little bit to the story that Nick Fury is telling him. But at the same time, I mean, he was sitting across from him, like smirking, acting like he felt for him, like understood what he was talking about.
This is a great story.
I don't know.
It's a little bit, and this is a reach, but hear me out on it. It's a little bit like when She-Hulk lectures Bruce Banner on how rough a life she has it because she's catcalled. And,
right.
When you think of all the things that Bruce went through, and so he's like, so you're telling me you had to sit in a colored car and eat fried chicken?
Right.
My planet was destroyed.
right.
Like that's it's an imbalance that they tried to make Fury the sympathetic character there, and Talos let him do it without. What are you talking about? Like we were eradicated.
It hurts Fury's case more when he hasn't kept a promise that he made to those people that
exactly
was
right. Yeah.
Well, so did Talos have this like Cockney British accent as strongly in Captain Marvel? I don't remember. I mean, I know that may be the way Ben Mendelsohn speaks. Apparently, all of the Skrulls have this Cockney British.
Not all of them.
No, that's true. The council.
Actually, as much as the council, we can get to the council scene when we get to the council scene.
Why are they all British? I don't understand.
One of the things I liked when we got to the council scene was, they're not all British people.
Right. You've got Christopher McDonald in there.
Yeah, he's not going to take that.
On the council, if you can clearly infiltrate leadership to the point of the head of NATO. What's the lady? Is she Secretary of State or VP? I don't even remember what she is.
Is she British Secretary?
She's
British.
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
She's Prime Minister.
If you can infiltrate these high levels of power, you don't need to orchestrate a war between Russia and the United States. You can become the leader of those countries and simply have a war. Like you don't.
Geopolitics is terrible.
Change your face.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's
not.
Well, and just one American being caught bombing Russia, they're not going to assume America is trying to start a war with.
Yeah, and nor does NATO. And here's the thing: like this is post blip. The world is different, but if you use institutions in a way that we are meant to relate to, when you talk about NATO,
right,
then we understand what NATO is and have some sense of how it works. So when you get the American lectured by NATO representatives, we pay for you everything you do, NATO.
Right.
You don't lecture America on that. It just wouldn't. That's not the way that organization works. So if you want to do that, if you want to have them be that, then you have to create a new organization for the new geopolitical environment that you have in this world. Because when you use terms that we know, then we expect them to function that way, and it's just lazy, and it doesn't connect, and it's unrelatable.
I did kind of like. That's why I kind of liked Rhodey's thing when he was being interviewed by all of them. He kind of put them all in their place.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, but it just wouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, I like that. You like it when
kind of a childish writtenly.
It kind of reminded me of
written by somebody who does not understand geopolitics at all.
Well, it kind of reminded
me. The guy's like not John Le Carre here. I mean, come on.
It kind of reminded
me.
They
want to be. Go ahead.
Kind of reminded me of when Rhodey was defending Tony in court or in the trial hearings, whatever.
A little bit. Well, he did better, but then Tony showed up, and he's like,
the whole
made
thing.
A mockery of the whole thing, right? That's
exactly.
But he won public perception, so
yeah.
Now,
so let's go back to Ben.
I feel like we're
train
bashing this episode quite a bit, but there was a lot of things that I liked. It's a really good
episode. No, we're not bashing. I like Ben Mendelsohn's response and that whole exchange between him and Jackson.
But then Samuel L. Jackson kind of threw it back in his face, though. He's like, "We dictate the terms of this relationship."
That's how the host works.
That's how the host works. I kind of liked that line.
I do agree with that line too. Yeah,
I do. I liked that line quite a bit. And also I was thinking a million's not a lot when he said there's a million.
You can do a lot of shapeshifters.
The whole planet, though. If you're talking
a scary amount of shapeshifters right now.
Yeah, it's a small percentage of by that point in history, probably. I mean, we're over 8 billion now, and we're almost current, right?
This is like a
2025.
Yeah,
so,
a couple.
So you're plus 8 billion. So that's not a.
Depending on where they are,
positions, if they're in the right spots, and or if they all come together, they would be the largest standing army on the planet.
Right. But obviously, you've got two different factions of Skrull. Basically, you've got the Talos faction and you've got the Gravik faction.
But the
Talos faction is small. It's like you need to explain the mechanics of your world when you ask us to start believing this kind of stuff a little bit. How do that many get here without anybody knowing? I mean, they had to land spacecraft here.
They can
they had to distribute themselves around.
It's a giant planet with shapeshifters. I can accept.
Yeah, but they got to get here some way, and we kind of established that
they're among us now.
Knowledge of that. I mean, they only got here in '96 or whatever.
The lizard people are in government right now.
Yeah, they're all.
How did they get there?
That lady in that TikTok video. That person in the back of the plane's not human.
I'm not talking about how do they get to their positions of power. I'm saying how do they get their feet on the earth.
Right.
We saw that in Captain Marvel.
Those numbers, based on what we saw in Captain Marvel, that was a tiny sliver. That was
like about 100 people.
Now, I think the explanation is probably that a lot of those people scattered. I think after
they must breed like rabbits then. But I don't. I mean, I'm talking about how did they get that many people here. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't fit.
Land in a spacecraft in the desert.
It's
Who
just,
knows?
It's all subterfuge.
Sloppy and lazy when you don't flesh out your world.
No, that is the least of our worries. Is how did they get here?
But that's the
everything that has happened.
Did you see him walk out of the ocean?
There's a celestial in the ocean.
No, when you go to something, look at the Star Wars sequels.
Look, Garrison's going to show you how it's
they
done.
are terrible is because the world building was so awful that none of it really makes any sense. So you have to put a little effort into that to have a product that's not trash. And nobody puts the effort in anymore. They put more effort in world building in John Wick than they do explaining any of the mechanics.
Somehow the scrolls returned.
Somehow,
I just am not concerned about how they got to the planet.
Well, but you should be, because that explains the world. That explains the world.
Really understand
the world you expect us to live in during this series.
But that's easily explainable. They're
here.
They're here.
This is the part of the comic book plotting that I'm okay with.
Yeah, I mean,
a million scrolls are here. Let's go with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just they're here. It
All
is
right,
what
let's
it
get
is.
back. So Fury's very surprised, though. Are you out of your green, whatever he said? I can't remember. Your
Yes,
lizard, something.
Let's not do impersonations, but yes.
I wasn't about to do it. Are you out of your lizard something mind?
But here's what. So the problem I had with it wasn't like the fact that they're here. It's that he was acting like a million was a lot. Like I'm like Fury. It's not that. I mean, I don't know.
But they're strong. If they're this strong and they can infiltrate and they can shapeshift into anybody, that's a lot of people. I mean,
you only have so much time in the show. You don't have to explain every little thing in the show.
But major plot points and
that's not a major plot point.
Yeah,
they're here.
Mikey, the fact that there are a million of them on the planet is a major plot point. Yeah, that's a pretty big development.
Okay. Mikey, how well did Bendis explain all the scrolls being infiltrating?
That whole comic book. Yeah, but that's no. I mean, there's no. It's just they're here. They're here.
Comic books don't transfer one to one.
No, you're right. They shouldn't.
To modern entertainment, TV and movies.
But my point is, but then my point is in the plotting of the story that to me is that I don't care that there's a million scrolls here they got here. They can come in little pods individually over time.
The pod people.
Like I'm walking in.
I actually have a problem with everything needs to be answered in all these different universes. Sometimes I want things just like, okay, this happened.
Right.
Off screen.
If they can get here, if a million people can get here, they can get off the planet and go somewhere else.
But they need to find a viable planet.
Yeah, they don't have a home.
Look around.
Look around.
And I do agree. There's a bunch of planets.
I do agree. In the Marvel universe,
they got to stay here.
More viable planets.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just waiting on Fury. They were waiting on Fury's problem.
Well, we know where Rhett stands on the immigration issue. There's a lot of other. There's a lot of other planets.
So much more land.
Find your own country.
No, I think so. Fury's upset because I think he really thought there was like 100 at most, and now there's like 1 million. And
he knew there were more than 100.
Well, no, but I think if you
he thought there was just
there weren't many. There weren't many at Captain Marvel, right? Were there? Do we know?
There weren't. He thought it was just
we just
like so up in that space
group.
Station.
Yeah,
or that ship. I mean, there wasn't
just
that
about
many there. Yeah.
No, just because they couldn't pay the actors, they couldn't find enough green makeup to.
Yeah, well, that's.
But I mean, so yes, the train scene happened.
I thought
Fury's upset. He's emotional. He's worried that there's 1 million Skrulls on the planet. Not that many in the grand scheme of things. But
the scene with Maria Hill and him, Maria Hill's mother and him were pretty. That was an intense scene. Oh my goodness!
Explain all this so I don't have to watch Miss Marvel. Captain Marvel, you mean? Miss Marvel's a good show. Captain Marvel. Yeah, I know, Andrew. Look, this is how it works. But
these
yeah,
guys just, these other guys, they just roll over and take crap. They just like oh,
no, it's a good show. Miss Marvel is good.
Welcome to Deucecast Extra.
Shovel.
There you go.
Shovel the manure. No. But
yeah.
So if we want to talk about the Flash connection,
yes.
the outside of the building that Rhodey was testifying in, I'm pretty sure was the police station in the Flash.
It is. Yeah, I saw
the Flash movie.
That,
yeah.
Did somebody say that? I just watched it like an hour ago, and I was like, oh my god, it's the same building.
No, I don't think anybody said that yet. But yeah, I mean, but that's I think because they're both filming in London, or they both filmed in London, if I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense.
So that's they're using exteriors, which it
makes sense why all the Skrulls talk London.
They're all Brit. Well, I mean, right.
We're gonna say here.
I didn't love the scene with her mom, with
really
Hill's mom. I thought,
what? Why
she got shot, and she's like, "Oh, you're supposed to protect her." Hey, crazy lady, how many alien invasions did she survive? Right? Like this is the one. Like
I don't think I would have responded.
Job.
Hey, crazy lady.
Great job protecting her. A great job.
Yeah, Rhett's not really the one to deal with grieving mothers. I don't think. We're not going to send him in
mourning. She was in mourning, Rhett. Come on.
Hold up the flag and say, "Get out of my face, lady."
She was like, "Earn this. Make it mean something." You know, from like
Private Ryan.
Yeah. That's what she told him at the end. She was like,
"Yeah."
And look, I am upset that Maria Hill is dead now. Apparently,
well, maybe.
No, I've thought about that. I gave her a little short shrift. When I first thought about it, it was like she wasn't that big a deal, but she was a good character. She was an integral character to all this, and she was killed in service of. She got fridged, which is a silly.
I hate that term,
trope,
but
but she did, and I do think she deserved a little bit better than to get off the way she did.
Like in my mind, she was kind of like the last connection we had to, like Coulson. I mean, that whole like Shield, like
kind of the old Shield, yeah.
Oh, Chewbubba, what's up, buddy?
Chewbubba.
I think
she did.
I think the funeral. I think the flag over the. Yeah, I think she's dead. Chewbubba.
Was
it a
scroll?
We expect that from comic books, but where they
would have turned green. She would have turned green.
Yeah, that's right. We see that later.
She had red blood.
The finger gets cut off. It turns green. In the interrogation scene.
Yeah, you know we worry about the sneak out deaths because it happens in the comics a lot, but it does not really happen in these situations very much. I think in the movies and TV shows, like when they're obviously kind of killed as a plot point, then they are dead.
Yeah. I think so too, because that also is continuing to put Fury into a more just he's like on edge even more now. I mean,
But Chewbubba, even when they're shot, they turn green. Like when they're shot, we saw that.
And her blood would be green,
Martin
right?
Freeman, when he died,
he turned green. Yeah, pretty much.
Don't they have green blood too? And you saw red blood coming out from her. Which, by the way, I'm surprised how
maybe
bloody this show is.
Oh man,
like
that fight scene outside of
where they're just shooting at people.
What's that guy up on the meat hanger? I mean, that was brutal.
Yeah, and that was some of the best part of the show, I think.
I think that's why it's like under TVMA or something. When you search for it, you have to change your settings if you had them like back. Yeah, well, it's like whatever the higher
cutting off a finger. And
it's not Deadpool. It's not Deadpool level, but you can't have like it on child settings or whatever in
parental control.
You have to raise the parental control to see it. Yes, Ted Coulson is dead. Yes, Coulson is dead.
Well, I mean, I think that was kind of the resolution we got in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen it, but
it was an LMD. But I don't want to talk about that show and the LMD thing. I hate that crap.
Well, if we want to get into comics, LMD is a huge thing that Nick Fury does all the time, where he gets killed and that was a life model decoy.
Right.
But that's just the dumbest crap ever, and that's how they do it. That's one of those things that doesn't translate from comics
Hey,
Well,
like
you
a,
got to
like a
understand.
narrative story here.
That's frustrating to comic readers, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Right,
just-
yeah. But they just keep doing it. But
So
I don't
Nick
think
Fury
you can
right
do
now,
that.
he died, and then the Watcher brought him back, and he's his agent on the moon. So
Is that
in the
current
comics?
comment canon?
Yes, yes.
See, I'm not caught up.
I'm not much of
Yeah.
a Marvel guy.
Yeah,
I'm,
he's
I'm
really-
trying to get caught up, but I'm still in 2008.
Now,
So
does
Well,
the
this is
got
the
a long
white.
ways to go.
This is the white Nick Fury, but he's living up on the moon, bald headed.
Do the
That's his-
Inhumans still live there?
That's his
Is
dad.
that where Trump does Trump still have his moon prison there? Is that is that part of the comics? Trump's
He's
got a moon
working.
prison.
Him and Black Bolt are hanging out together.
What?
You don't know about Trump's moon prison? I'll tell you later.
No. Okay.
His moon prison.
LMD.
Is that something that Doom talked
LMD.
about also?
LMD.
Life model decoy.
LM.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. LMD.
LMD.
Yes. Life model. Life.
I've done a little time in labor and delivery, yes, but that's not important right now.
No, it's not. I'm really liking Olivia Colman's character. I like her, dude. I like that.
No, I did
character.
too. I like that
aloof. She's like
interrogation,
British super spy, kind of silly,
Did
aloof.
she have 4 lines of dialogue in this episode?
No, but it's all in the
No,
delivery,
she was
man.
important.
It's all
She was
I
important.
like. No, she had more than 4 lines of dialogue.
Did she though?
She
Yeah.
did. She swooped in at the end.
I like when she cut a guy's finger off. That was a.
She's brutal.
And then she goes, now we know what you are.
You said Coleman, right? I was thinking Amelia Clark.
Olivia Colman.
Coleman's fantastic. She's great.
Yeah.
I do think Clark.
You're
is being
thinking Amelia
underutilized.
But I also like Emilia Clarke in this
No.
because a lot of emotion is conveyed in her looks. I like her quite a bit.
But I think
in
she
this.
is being underutilized currently. I hope that.
Well, we'll get there.
But she's discovering the situation.
She's on
with
the
these
inside
scientists,
for her
right?
dad.
So we know where we're headed with this, right?
Yes, we don't know where we're headed.
She is in place as a double agent, basically.
I can't wait for the conversations about
what kind of mic do I use? It must not be good. Audio Technica.
Get one like it.
It's an Audio Technica, Andrew. Thanks for asking. I hope it sounds okay. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Yes, Olivia Colman's fantastic in pretty much everything.
She's really good.
She's really
yes,
good.
And Rhett got her confused with Amelia Clarke.
Yeah, I love him. I love Coleman in this. I think she's great. And every line she says, the way she says it is fantastic. I thought you were talking about Clark.
So the deal with her is I've seen her in enough things now that she's different in like everything that she's in. I mean, and she's just such a pro. She's like the new Helen Mirren.
Clark?
No, Olivia Colman.
Okay.
I haven't left Olivia Colman yet because I really think she's like the new Helen Mirren. She's like good in everything.
I think she's the best part of this show.
Yeah,
I like how she was like, "Let's play now, shall we?"
Yes. Oh man, I love that.
Well, that confirms that then.
Yeah.
We don't use that's a pretty brutal torture scene for
yes.
And you're right.
I guess he's an alien, so it's like
she's like
that make
burning
it okay,
him.
right?
She's
I
burning him alive. Yeah, that's
he cut a finger off to confirm whether or not he was a Skrull, which means that if he wasn't, he would just been a human that got his finger cut off for no reason.
And look,
and then she burns him like
we're in the throes of war here, so it all,
my biggest complaint with this issue, if Gravik is a general,
okay,
I don't think he would have led the sneak attack on this thing himself. Like I would have rather him said, "You go do this." And he stands outside and waits. I want him to be more.
He did send the guy. He had what's his face, Panos or whatever.
Yeah, he had him
do some dirty work for him.
Yeah.
He's clearly a man about the cause. And
Panos?
Yeah, I
Pagan,
don't know what a super Skrull is, but I think there's going to be a super Skrull in this thing.
Yes,
oh, sure. That's the experiment that the doctors are working on.
Yeah.
We see, spoiler alert, there's a trailer out there that you briefly see.
He shoots the hand out,
Yeah.
Whoa, Garrison.
Well, I mean, we saw it on the screen alluded to where it said Groot on the screen when Amelia Clarke was doing her research.
Yeah.
Obsidian,
and you kind of see
several.
Several
different characters.
Sure that the Super Skrull in the comics is has Fantastic Four powers or whatever.
That's
right.
And but it appears they're going with something else now. So
because we don't have
that'll probably require some powered up heroes to fight. So I bet we get some
well, they're going to have to
Avengers level people before this thing is all said and done.
You would have to, right? I mean,
unless Carol Danvers would come.
Yeah, we'll get somebody like her. I think you have to do Captain. I think you almost have to have Captain Marvel in this at some point.
That line of dialogue where Fury says we can't call in the Avengers because then they would just be framed for being terrorists. I don't really like that line of logic.
I don't.
But it immediately made me think that's what the Skrulls should have done. Because they don't have to see the Avengers. I mean, they already know how to make their faces look like the Avengers. And I know that budgetary-wise that's tough to do, but they should have framed the Avengers as terrorists who blew up this whole thing.
Yeah, but and then all the Avengers have a press conference and be like, we didn't do that. There are shape-shifting aliens. Here's one. And like all of this is easy to defeat in the public forum.
Yeah, why doesn't Talos...
It's not. It's not easy to defeat.
It is.
Look, we see in real life, if someone says something
Chewbacca.
online,
I agree with
someone believes it. There's going to be a certain segment of the
also,
population.
Even at this point, they're more technologically advanced than we are. I mean, we understand deep fakes now that we like, well, now you can't. Now you understand that you can't believe any of that kind of crap. And if you had the Avengers be like, well, here I was here this day. You saw me there.
Mm-hmm.
We clearly didn't do that. Look at this guy we know, Talos. See, he's a plain old white guy now. Now look, he's a lizard.
Yeah.
This can happen. Though they are trying to set you up. We wouldn't destroy Moscow. We like people. That's all it would take from the Avengers. They've saved the world multiple times. Nobody's going to fall for that.
But they also have a news anchor on their side.
Oh, yeah.
They're spreading lies through the media. Spreading lies through the media.
He was right. In this case, he was telling the truth about the and they make him the villain because he was on FNN or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of the geopolitical stuff is probably not accurate, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of disinformation to confuse the public. I mean, and so it would be as simple as that. In all honesty, if you get
I don't think so, because then the Avengers would be like, "Remember when you were all dead for 5 years and we brought you back to life?"
So well, look, I mean, they
listen to us. Yeah.
But you also caused that event because you were there, and I mean, you could sow a lot of public distrust.
So I guess the Skrulls blipped.
Well, and they also they were already sowing public distrust because of what happened in Sokovia. So there's some public that aren't huge fans.
Ant-Man can't walk down the street without people swarming all over him.
There's some that they like, but
they have a press conference out in front of infinity cones, and they say, "Listen, we didn't do this."
This wasn't us. And then they're like, how do we know you're not a Skrull? You could be a Skrull. And then that's all it takes is one person yelling that out. Yeah.
And then they go, hey, remember this? Then they go, hey, remember this Spider-Woman character we don't own? She's been a Skrull this whole time.
That's right.
That's
somebody starts selling T-shirts that say Captain America's a Skrull. And
or then somebody's like, hey, where was that girl who tried to destroy the planet a while back? Scarlet, what was her name?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they do have a little.
Maybe they are. They got a
He was teamed up with you guys.
Look, some people don't like the superpowered.
So I guess, okay.
Yeah, some people don't like the superpowered. There's a lot of bad things. You guys brought this celestial out in the ocean here. We don't even know what the heck that is.
It could work even better with the public distrust in mutants, too. But
I know that's coming. We'll get all of that.
Wait for it now. Too early. Too early.
Come out of Deadpool 3, I think.
Yes, Andrew. Everyone's at least 1 million people are. Everyone's a Skrull.
Everyone, you're a Skrull. They're a Skrull everywhere.
Well, maybe Rhodey is a Skrull because I felt like
that was interesting.
There was something going on there.
I think that's going to be revealed later. He's a Skrull.
Yeah, and I don't know how long.
I like their interaction though. That was pretty interesting.
No, I didn't because it. And here's why. Are we here to discuss? Are we only here to blow this thing, or can we actually talk about things we don't like?
We've been talking about things we don't like the whole time. Calm down.
You have plenty of time to talk about it. What don't you like? Okay,
you have an aneurysm over there.
So they made that conversation was very racially charged. There were a lot of back and forth about kind of their
ancestry.
they're unique and they need to stick together for these reasons that
Yep.
had never been, they'd never come up in the MCU before. Not with those characters. Anthony Falcon, Captain America guy had some, Sam had some stuff with that.
Sam stuff when he ran into the original.
These guys didn't. They were very I mean, they were in leadership positions and very powerful organizations, and they've been on screen a lot, and we've never seen any of those struggles between the two. So it seemed like it came a little out of nowhere and was a little bit forced into that conversation. Where it maybe didn't really have any relevance, really, because none of this is happening because of their race. It's like it's just this unrelated thing where they wanted to have that conversation. The writers, the creatives, wanted to have that discussion, and it wasn't really relevant to very much. So I didn't like it in that respect, and I felt like Rhodey was out of character.
Because he's
probably that's on purpose, right? Yeah. For him to be a Skrull,
but
I don't mean. They need to explain when he became a Skrull, when this iteration was a Skrull, because I think you start, if it's from way back, then now you start taking away from Endgame, his reaction to Tony dying, right?
Yeah,
if that's a Skrull, well, that's
not,
it doesn't feel right.
That's
because Tony was a Skrull too.
Well, yeah, that's your Ben Reilly problem with Spider-Man, where you say, for the last 20 years this guy's actually been Spider-Man and he's a clone or blah blah blah, and then you go, then why do I want to keep reading this or watching this?
Yeah,
I hope that it's just this is a pretty current thing that's happened with Rhodey.
That's right.
We hope
this whole time. No, Chew Bubba's right. Eventually, Terrence Howard's going to walk out and be like, "I'm Rhodey. What are you guys doing?"
You know what? That would have been great. Yeah. Have Terrence
Howard there, and then you're like, the whole time.
I've been trapped in this prison for a decade.
Yeah, this thing in my brain for years. I've been in the
That's awesome.
Some skinny guy played me instead of me. I don't know.
I did feel like it was a little out of character, but also Rhodey's kind of always been trying to be by the book. Now Tony never really let him be by the book.
No, he's always been a by the book guy,
trying to be by the book. And doesn't really end up that way.
Yeah, but the end of that conversation was a bit almost vindictive.
Yeah.
No, it was. It was.
And that's when I started saying something's off here, and I do think he's going to end up being a Skrull.
Yeah, probably. But also they need to be careful with that. Like Rhett said, they've got to explain when that happened.
Right. Hopefully, Rhodey's in a room somewhere, like his body's like.
Yeah, he's in one of those machines.
The little things in his head, and they'll come rescue him.
That was the thing from. Mandalorian on Coruscant, right? That's the
mind flayer.
Mind flayer.
Oh man!
I said that. I said that when I watched the first
episode. Props.
But no. It's actually from the. I forgot this. It's from the first Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah,
they do it in the first Captain Marvel.
Get her brain, and they're like, "Wait a minute, let's look around in her brain."
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were getting her memory. Good call, Garrison.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's all go watch Captain Marvel tonight.
I can't take credit for that. I don't remember where I recorded it.
Every time I finish an episode of Secret Invasion, Disney Plus tries to get me to watch Captain Marvel.
Yes.
No,
I'm
not gonna watch.
I will not.
It's not ever going to happen. Stop.
You can't get me to click even accidentally. I throw the remote across the room.
Right, yeah. So. You yank the TV out of the wall.
It's okay. It's not good, but it's not. I would just like to watch it again to remind myself of,
So I think
how Marvel was
obviously Guy is a double agent. I think she's going to be able to turn pagan also too, though. I think he's having some problems with stuff that Gravik's having him do.
I don't think she's a double agent yet. I think she's
other guy.
Losing faith in Gravik with this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think she's a double agent. I think she's on his side and she's starting to have misgivings.
That's it.
Well, then I also think Pagan's starting to have misgivings as well because he had to go shoot a guy. I mean, Gravik told him to go shoot a guy.
Yeah, I think he'll ultimately stay loyal
because they keep doing these close-ups on him.
They do,
where we can get his facial reaction to stuff, and it's just I'm like, okay,
they are kind of playing it thick with him.
And he shot the guy off screen, so maybe he didn't shoot the guy.
Maybe he didn't shoot the guy.
No, he shot the guy.
He shot him.
No,
they just that was a Disney
extreme step. You get the feeling that they haven't been that extreme up to this point.
Right.
And now they're starting to take these steps where they're coming out and they're putting these pieces together, and it's causing them to do worst
killing 2,000 people, including women and
Yeah.
children. Yeah, it's like doesn't seem. Yeah.
Just going back to the council for 1 minute. What did y'all take? So there's one lady who said, "I'm not gonna bow" or whatever.
Yes.
What was it they said to do that where they turned to scroll, like show fealty and they bow.
basically.
Oh yeah.
I forget the word they used, but she said, "I'm not going to do it." And he's just like, "That's okay, sister. Go ahead and leave." And I thought, well, they're going to kill her.
She's going to be dead
Yeah,
eventually.
I thought
not
her-
in
I
this
thought-
episode, but she will be dead.
I thought her car was going to explode. I thought that was
Yeah,
gonna
it
be-
just-
when
it
she's
was
on the
odd.
phone with Talos, I thought, boom.
Like,
I
she
think
says,
it makes him more interesting as a character and even more
If he
menacing
leaves her go,
that he lets her go. And he says you're
he's
free to go,
confident.
and then he stays to his word. I think that makes him
well, he's
scarier.
and he's
Yeah.
confident, even knowing that she's going to leak this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
well, and maybe
interesting.
that's the
Yeah.
purpose too. That's
To
what
let
I
her
had
leak it.
thought. Yeah.
Well,
that,
he also
that he's in charge.
We also know that they are going to have a one-on-one meet. Like Gravik and Talos are going to meet in the next episode, probably, because she was supposed to be able to set that up. So even though,
oh wow, I don't.
yeah, even on that phone call, Talos was like, set up a meeting with me and Gravik, and
Oh, okay.
and she's on the
I'd
outs. with
I'd
Gravik.
forgotten that.
So I don't really understand exactly how that's going to work because she's on the outs with Gravik. So I don't understand how she has the power to set up a
Who's on the
meeting.
outs with Gravik?
The lady that said she wasn't
The-
going to bow down
the
to
Indian
him.
lady.
Yeah, the Indian lady.
Oh.
I mean,
Hmm.
I guess he was nice to her.
I
and said,
think
"You
I
can
think
leave."
I was so expecting her to blow up that I couldn't.
Yeah, me
Right.
too.
I couldn't even pay attention to the
Quit paying
conversation.
attention to what she was saying because
Yeah,
she did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten she even called Gravik until I rewatched.
Well,
it
no.
tonight.
Talos called, or she called
called
Talos.
Talos.
Yeah,
I meant
Talos was like, "I need a meeting," and she was like, "You're going to get killed if you meet with him." And he was like, "Do it in a public place." But I don't think Gravik cares, obviously, about public places.
There's a scene in the trailer where Gravik shows up at like a restaurant. There's like a billion of him. Is that him meeting with?
I think
Is that
that's
him
the
meeting with
meeting.
Talos, or
That is the
is
meeting.
that Fury? I don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't
I saw
remember.
a preview with
I
them
think that's
sitting
Talos.
down talking,
Okay.
and I don't know if that was for this coming episode on Wednesday or whatever. But I'm liking Kingsley Belladear a lot. I think he's good as
Benadir,
Gravik.
Yeah.
I think Benadir. I think he's good as Gravik. I'm liking Emilia Clarke too. She didn't have much to do in this episode, but I think she's
She was
better.
just sneaking around and
She's
looking
sneakily
and,
good in this series. Like, I think she's going to be important to the
she's
series.
fine.
Well,
We'll
she
see.
may be important, but that doesn't mean she's well cast in this particular role.
Well, I think she's good. I think she's well cast. I'm not having a problem with her at all. I mean, I think she's getting better work than she did in lots of Game of Thrones, where she was just sort of. But,
I mean, I don't know. She had a lot more to work with on Game of Thrones than she has here. But
yeah.
Oh, sure.
yeah,
We'll
it's
see
just-
what
she just didn't have much. There's not much to say about her in this episode. She
This is
Right,
just-
right.
Yeah, she wasn't emphasized in this episode.
Yeah.
as
Right.
much. So what did you think? Where are we now?
We've talked about-
We kinda
got to
jumped
talk
all
about
around.
the end. We got to talk about the very end.
Rhett's
are we
name,
there?
Mrs.
Oh.
Rhett Fury. Yeah.
Mrs. Redford.
So here's the way it was shot.
Yes.
Where before he gets there, she
Mhm.
is a Skrull, and when he
Yeah.
walks
Right.
in, she is a black lady.
He might not know she's a scroll.
Makes you believe that he doesn't know that, but I'm reasonably confident that
I
someone
think-
said in an interview, like one of the directors said, no, he knows.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
They had to have met through
Shot
this whole
in a way that
scroll
would-
thing.
Yeah, it was shot in a way to suggest that you wouldn't know that.
That
right?
he's
And
like
She was just a
just
girl.
going-
It was a meet cute situation. She was just a girl sitting on a bench as a scroll. He walked up, and it was like a meet cute thing, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean it's.
He was a man
Does he make
from
her
Alabama.
constantly be someone palatable to his sensibilities? Is that why she changed into that? Like that's
Oh, I don't know.
racist, if so.
See, yeah, Andrew, I
pretty
wonder.
interesting
It's cultural appropriation.
twist.
I do wonder this, Andrew.
Well, it's weird. It's
is
weird, Andrew.
It is weird. It is.
But
weird.
I feel like he had to have met her through the cause. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, she was at the.
I mean,
so she was standing there with Gravik at
Yeah,
that
I know how they met.
1997 meeting.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
question
yeah, that's
is, did she turn? Well, I don't know.
Well, what I'm just saying is that when he's there, she's a human, And it seems like he must require, he's like, hey, lady, when I get home,
Yeah.
I want 2 things. I want you to have a human face, and I want a sandwich on the table. Like that's
and
what
I don't want to feel that bumpy chin you got. That
he was
those
looking
ridges.
in an old like Sears catalog, and he was like, "This is what I want you to look like."
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
I think that's right, and that's racist. Like why is he
That's
not?
cultural
Why does he not
appropriation.
appreciate what she really is?
He obviously does. He obviously does at some point.
It's weird. It's
it's
all
their
weird.
budget.
It's
Their
like,
budget.
here's the stinger on the episode that you're supposed to be shocked by, and I am.
Yeah.
It may be.
He put
It
that
may
ring
be
on. Boom.
Ooh, what if they have a
maybe
kid
more
together?
for.
Ooh, what if
You
there's
can
a
do that?
What if there's a kid out there together?
Interspecies.
An interspecies? What if there's a because
so that's the thing. Also, if you had 1 million scrolls, there's gonna breed, right? Probably with
they're gonna fall.
We don't know what the gestational period is, but they've had
what would happen.
They've had 30 years to do it.
Yeah. and was she mad when he was gone forever? How long he's been up on whatever that's called? Saber. Yeah.
Saber.
I mean,
Well, maybe she goes back and forth too, but you guys don't care about that. You don't care how they get to and fro,
yeah,
or how they hear it all. So that's no.
I really don't.
He could just beam up for all I care.
We know that we know the planet blew up, right?
Yeah.
The planet blew up, and the way they make it sound is they blew up the planet to defeat the Kree. Isn't that the impression you got? That the Skrulls actually blew up their own planet?
Okay, so there was one thing that I had a question about. So when the train conversation, and Talos mentions this general character. Do we know this general character that he mentioned, or is that the first name drop of that character?
Yeah, I didn't.
It's going to be Gravik's father, probably.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. At least, so that means there are some Skrull that are evil that are still out in the galaxy. Is what I think he was alluding to in that conversation.
I may have to go
like
back
all the good Skrull he brought with him, and because the promise was never met, some of the Skrull are pissed off and they're following Gravik now.
I thought all of the survivors or the million.
No. He mentioned this general, starts with a D. I can't remember the character's name. He mentioned that character in that speech. So there's some evil Skrull still out in space.
You're trying
like
to get
the way you're
answer
thinking,
to a
Mikey.
question this
I like
show
that,
ain't ever
Mikey.
gonna answer.
I want some evil Skrulls.
I think there are still. I mean, because their characters are evil in the comics.
Well, you're getting evil Skrulls right now. There are
yes,
evil
but
Skrulls
these are different evil Skrulls.
No, we care about them because you see, they've immigrated to our
I
planet.
empathize with them because a promise wasn't kept.
Invaded.
Yes.
Well, then they're like, we're going to live here now. No, we get to. You don't just get to move into my
That's
house.
right. The
Like,
host gets to decide the terms.
You don't. That's not how it works. You can kick us off of it.
But I understand why Gravik is disgruntled. I understand why he's upset.
Go find your own planet. Spaceships go back and forth to Earth all the time. How did Peter Quill get here? Go ask him.
There's
a bunch of planets out here. We'll swing by, pick you up, take you out. There are millions of planets.
Got a bunch of Ravagers.
Somebody in the chat Google this general that Talos was, or somebody Google the general and find out if we know the background of this general that he mentioned. Starts with a D is his name or something.
So, did you get the opinion that the council said we've now declared
Peter's on the
war?
planet? Hang on, Andrew. Peter is back.
The spoiler alert. If you haven't seen, that's a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy,
that's so too bad. This is a chronological discussion of the MCU. You have to be able to reference other things in the MCU.
That's true.
I'm sorry, y'all. We can't talk about any of this. I haven't seen Iron Man yet. I don't want to.
Okay, it's fair.
Please.
Earl, what were you going to say?
I don't even remember now.
No. See, look, you've made Andrew feel bad. He just forgot.
No, he doesn't.
Just give him a break. He can't look. He's not an encyclopedia of knowledge with.
Oh,
you're like a walking DK book, Rhett.
Wow. I like how
that's the worst insult you could ever call Red as a DK book.
How dare you, sir?
And you know what? But DK book is apt because he cares way too much about the transportation of all this stuff.
He does care too much.
Yeah. Some background character, and I'm like, oh, I need to somebody explain that to me. Some intern has to shout out a book for set up my coffee table, a DK book. Yeah,
I could get you my DK book right now if we need to.
No, Andrew, no, dude, do not give Rhett that, Andrew.
Do
Do
not
give
apologize
any
here.
quarter to Rhett ever.
No, don't.
If you continue to watch this show after this episode, never give Rhett any quarter.
No, so in the geopolitical world of the Skrulls,
yes.
Did they give Gravik emergency war powers? Right? Isn't that what I'm sensing?
That's what the
basically
council
saying
did.
they're going to
Council
war
of
against
Skrulls,
Earth.
yeah.
They're going to war against Earth. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
This is the invasion.
Good luck.
Is that true? I mean, they've only got 1 million people, but they're super strong.
They're going to
They're
war,
trying
maybe
to-
specifically against
Well,
America.
destroy the Earth.
They're subterfuge, right? I mean, they're going with we're going to make Earth go to war with each other, and then we'll
It'll
live
be
in
irradiated,
yeah,
and they'll be fine. We'll all die.
Right.
That's not how nuclear war works. But whatever.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
not
but
how
I
it
mean,
works.
basically, all he's
How do we
trying to
know
do.
about the Skrulls' anatomy and how it interacts with nuclear war? I don't.
They told us that in the first episode.
In the first episode, they can handle.
They'll
nuclear
love it.
Why
war.
they're hanging out at an abandoned nuclear plant that apparently we can't find.
New Skrullex.
Is that a nuclear plant we can't? I just thought it was Chernobyl.
No, it was
Well,
off the
sort of.
grid. All these
It's a
off the
nuclear
grid
plant
former
that
Soviet-
that we
have
wouldn't.
satellites. Like it's easy. This is easy.
No, but we wouldn't go there though. We
But
wouldn't
the
want to
Russians would. The Russians don't want
care.
aliens.
You know what? Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, it's an abandoned nuclear place like Tenet. We're gonna tie this into Tenet now.
Oh,
Secret Invasion. It's 2 spy things.
How would yeah.
all of a sudden, Nick Fury's gonna be running backwards.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's no reason for the Russians to look there because they're not looking for these scrolls. Nobody knows about these scrolls except Nick Fury.
Right, they just think they're
and
abandoned.
now he's tried to tell Rhodey, but Rhodey ignored him. I mean, because
He has
Rhodey's probably
known.
a skull.
They knew that they were hiding out there because we've talked about it. They know that.
Right.
We know it. The way the audience knows, Nick Fury knows. I mean,
Just Nick
know.
Fury though. Like the Russian government doesn't know they're there.
All he has to do is call up what's Saber? Say, look, put a laser beam right there, blow it up.
But he's
Kill all the
trying to
Skrulls.
handle this on his own. He doesn't want anyone else involved.
Why? Like that's the other thing.
He
Like, oh, no, I got to
explained
do
it
it
to-
on my own.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I mean,
He
yeah,
broke a
that's how you-
promise. He
It's
broke it.
artificial. It's artificial tension and all this other, and you're hamstringing yourself because you're like, I got to do this on my own.
Well, he
Well,
made
you got-
a good
You have-
point about
you
not
have
wanting the
literal
Avengers involved.
gods at your disposal.
No, but I understand why he doesn't want them involved in this case.
You do.
Yeah, he kind of explained it to Rhodey.
Because I would love to know.
He explained it to Rhodey. He was just like, he doesn't want the world to see them freaking out about this infiltrated alien species that they don't know about that's on the planet.
Well, they've been invaded more than one time by aliens.
Yeah, but they don't know. But they also don't know that the aliens stayed. They don't know that the Skrulls are there.
Like at this point, you just had,
This show is better.
had a celestial outside.
I'm assuming I don't know what that word means.
Holding the planet in his
Secret Invasion.
hands, and they're going to be freaked out by a million shape-shifting lizards. Now,
I mean, yes.
this world doesn't make sense anymore.
Oh, that's
Look,
not true.
I like this episode better than the first episode. I'm going to go ahead and say
Don't you remember was it Endgame when the Russo brothers were sitting around in their circle
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
it's
trying to
with
help
Cap.
each other?
Is Garrison
through
making a
this.
TikTok video while we're trying to
Right,
do this?
he cried during a salad course. Yeah, I remember.
Is Garrison about to do a TikTok video? Is he bored with our? Are you going to dance back there with the
Are you
light
about
on?
to drink a Grimace milkshake?
Purple sprays everywhere out of him.
All
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Sorry, guys.
I still want to know what you were trying to say earlier, Earl, because it sounded like it was going to be something important, and then Rhett.
No, I was just about
Steamrolled you.
I just wanted to clarify the world powers thing. But no, Rhett, go
That's
ahead.
basically what what's happened. I mean,
Yeah.
they're wanting the United States to get framed for this bomb, obviously.
No,
So the United States
yeah,
and
I
Russia
understand
gets in a
that.
war, and yeah,
Destroys the planet, and then only the Skrulls can live here
Only
because
the
they can
Skrulls.
survive radiation.
that's really simple geopolitical stuff, and yes, and I get it, Rhett. Maybe it's not perfect, but that's used in all kinds of.
This is a John le Carre novel.
I haven't complained about that part of it.
Okay.
That part's fine. That's just your standard.
I just expected.
Yeah.
That's your standard comic-y goofy plot. Yeah,
it's a standard Russia versus USA plot at this point. Yeah.
Now I do think that Gravik is taking it all a little hard. Like he's just, I don't know. So like, I guess this is earned. I guess his angst is earned.
He's very
I mean, we need. You know what I do hope that we get is some more like how close were Gravik and Nick Fury, how close was their relationship? Like, because that would make it mean more, because he did have one little comment in this episode that he was surprised that he saw Nick Fury and that he's just old and ragged and worn out now. And like, basically Gravik's like, he's inconsequential. He's not going to be a problem.
So. Was that the only size hat they had?
This is my dad's.
Is Garrison a Skrull all of a sudden? What happened there?
Yes, Ted, that's accurate. The Skrulls are Ukraine in this story.
Talos is Zelensky.
Wow.
No.
I don't maybe
this was in the works. Yeah, this was in the works for all of that. So.
Yeah, I
want to think about. So they change one guy who looks like another guy and says he's the American who planted the bomb, right? The guy with the that they, I guess, capture, right, or something.
Right.
So in a real geopolitical situation, Rhett, I'm going to ask Rhett this question.
Oh yeah.
Let's say there was a bomb that went off in Russia and they found an American who was part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't our country immediately say, look, we have no part of that. That's one guy.
That's why they sent Rhodey to do.
That all happens in diplomatic back channels, and you wouldn't like.
You wouldn't have
how you start conflagrations. Right. In fact, the irony here is that we are nearer to global nuclear war in real life than we would be based on the events of this TV show.
Right.
Like the us supplying arms to Ukraine is more likely to perturb Russia than a rando setting off a bomb in a
even if it killed 2,000 people.
I don't believe either one is that close.
I don't we're close. I'm just saying on the scale, nearer and from there. Like I still don't think we're close, but
no, Andrew. Yeah, I mean they've got the technology. Basically, is you can like write that off and say they've got the technology to do whatever. But obviously, there's some issue with them not having ships on the planet.
Well, they gave up their technology
somehow, of course, but we don't care about that.
So, no, we don't. No, I don't.
They assimilated as humans and gave up a lot of their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there something about the longer they stay in those human forms, they lose their Skrullish identity or something?
I know that was an ask of Fury in that speech in '97.
That may just be a cultural thing that the Skrulls feel like they're losing their identity by being humans all the time.
Like
they ask some of them not to change because they want them to be, they want them to infiltrate. Like you live this, be this part.
And that was a big ask, apparently. I mean, when Fury asked of that, because he had to get buy-in from everyone, that was a big ask. Hey, you're going to have to look like us nasty humans for a while you're here, and it's stretched out to 30 years. And Fury left because he was...
he didn't leave. He just left a few years ago. He didn't leave.
It got too hot, bro. You had to leave or whatever.
He's only been gone a couple years or whatever.
Mendelsohn's awesome, by the way. I love Mendelsohn. I love anything that Mendelsohn does. Good. He's so good.
And Fury's good. I mean, Jackson's good in this. I mean, he stepped it up a little bit this
I'm liking,
not so sure.
I'm liking him a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, that trade didn't seem like the character to me. It seemed that wasn't that wasn't the Nick Fury character. It was a little on the nose, and it just didn't feel right. But I mean, but I don't look. That's coming from the perspective of plain old white guy, right? That may resonate quite well with somebody else, or
right.
I don't. To me, it just didn't seem like that wasn't the character.
Well, that's only because we haven't really
I've never gotten Fury or anything like that. So
yeah, we've never gotten Fury in that particular type of characterization. So it was kind of weird to me.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I think the conversation that he had with Rhodey was more Fury-esque.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's probably true.
As far as
Rhodey was the
hard-nosed.
Yeah,
Rhodey was the different, but yeah, Fury being hard-nosed, Fury being able to stand up and I love. Okay, here's
take that guy out.
The one character thing I loved is him like wheezing afterwards and like, look, we're showing that this guy's aged. I mean, he's lived a hard life. He's been through a lot. I liked that moment when he sat down on the bench.
We love to see our heroes old and decrepit.
Save it for Thursday. Save it for Thursday. Save it for Thursday.
Yes, we do.
Disillusioned.
Because when he finally accepts the challenge, you go, yes.
And I did like
he put a great move on that guard, right?
He is back.
He and I like when he said, when you say I'm out, what did he say? I'm never out, or
I'm
something?
Never out. Yeah, I'm Nick Fury. He said, I'm Nick Fury.
That was awesome. Yeah.
And if it was a rated R show, he said mother. He would have said drop the MF right there. But he did not, unfortunately. We don't have the Deadpool.
In fact, he tells a story when he was young. His parents were so happy when he learned to say half a word when he said mother.
Half a word. Oh my goodness.
That's right. I get it. Ha ha.
Mother father.
Ha ha. Mother father. Yeah, exactly.
Mother father. What was that?
That's on Wednesday. That's
okay.
Matt mentioned.
Wait, listen to Matt brings up a Samuel Jackson quote.
A Samuel Jackson quote. Yeah, even when I'm out, I'm in. That's better. That's better.
That's what he said. Even when I'm out.
That's a good line.
He said, "I'm Nick Fury, even when I'm out."
Yeah, that's a good line.
Did anybody ever look up this general that Talos? I really want somebody to look that general name up.
Oh goodness!
I need somebody. I need to know.
He said that. Did he?
Threw some letters on the page.
He mentioned a character name, and I don't know if we've ever heard it before.
Guess I got to start taking notes.
You need to watch a Screen Rant. 127 things in this episode of.
That's what Earl watches. I don't watch all that.
What? Well, I do watch some of it, but
yes. I don't.
Get ready, guys.
Okay.
Get ready.
You got it.
Just saying, in the future, Marvel shows, we got a lot of that coming up. There'll be a lot of Screen Rant videos.
Yeah.
A lot of Screen Rants.
Yeah.
Loki.
I had to pull back because I almost just said something.
The Loki of it all. It'll be interesting to see. And Echo. How are we going to do Echo when they're just dumping it all in one?
What if? Hear me out on this.
We do half and half.
What if we just ignore it totally, like all the rest of America?
Look, if it.
Wow.
Yeah, we can split it up or something. We'll do that's probably
why they're dumping all episodes at once.
Yeah.
Echo.
We could just do episode 1 through 3 one night, and the next week come back and do, and we all make a pact.
It will be completely forgotten by then. But if you cover that show over 2 weeks, that second week people be like, "What show are you talking about?" Because it will be beyond
Echoes of the past.
Yeah, Echoes. That ain't gonna stick around in the zeitgeist.
Look, you guys talk. I'm looking this general name up.
It'd be hilarious if it was great.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope it is. I want something to either be great or atrocious. And this show, Secret Invasion, is neither. I just walk away from it indifferent. Like it just doesn't. It's not anything. I mean, I don't love it, but it's not terrible. And I mean, it's not just garbage. It's not She-Hulk, right? Like that's the bar now.
Yeah.
Like anything that's better than She-Hulk, you can never just lose your mind totally over a show when it's not as bad as She-Hulk, right? Because that's the baseline.
The barometer.
Right? Yeah, and your bellwether or whatever. So it's not that bad. It's not She-Hulk bad. So just what do you say about it then? Just happens.
Well,
The internet's not helping me. I don't know the right question.
No, because it's nothing. It's just words. It's just an alien word.
You don't just throw a name out. You don't throw a character name out and it not mean
Ted
anything,
has it.
though.
We're also not going to get a. We're also
No,
not going to
don't-
see what kind of fried chicken Nick Fury likes. It's just they're just throwing stuff out there.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's just that was just color. That was just color. That's all it was.
We'll find it afterwards, Michael. Well, listen, everybody in the
Yeah,
chat.
know it
I
now.
don't know that this is the big deal.
That's like
but
being important.
We could,
I really need to know what those.
Did you type in episodes?
all the Nimboidian names. Well, which one was Lot Dodd? Oh, that's really important. I got
Lot
You don't need to know any of that. You don't
All
need
right,
to know
fine.
any
Maybe
of
it wasn't important. I just want to know that there's bad Skrull still out there, and not all this. There can't just be a million Skrull. There's more than a million Skrull, so there's
that.
some
No,
in
there may
space
not
still.
be. They killed them.
We
It's
don't
a
know they blew
slaughter.
up on the planet.
The
That's
Kree were
all.
trying to kill them all. I mean, the fact that 1 million got away is pretty impressive.
Somebody
Yeah.
just turn on the episode, fast forward to that scene, turn the closed captioning on. No,
Nobody's ever going to watch this episode again. I can't believe. Did you guys watch it twice? Some of you.
yeah.
I had to.
yeah.
Well, I told
We
my
got
story.
to.
I fell asleep twice, so I had to
Yeah,
watch it a third
Kinda.
time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm turning it on right now.
Oh my God.
Fast forward to the train scene, turn the closed captioning on.
No, that's too much. I can't
That's
do
too
that.
yeah, you're right.
That's
It
too
is
much tech.
It-
That's too challenging for me.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
But-
I guess that's it. What do we say?
We did it.
Did we say if we liked it?
I liked the episode. Rhett apparently does
I
does
liked
not.
it a lot.
I liked episode 2 better than episode 1.
Yes.
But there are moments. I think there are moments within the conversations, like on the train or with Rhodey, where I'm like, yes, no,
Yeah.
yes, no. You know, like it's just like tiny amounts of frustration where I'm like, this could be just slightly better for me,
Yeah.
or
Right.
it could be great to me, and it's just not hitting that for me personally right now. So
Well, you know.
I think
I'm
the end with his ostensibly his wife. How do you know female or male, whatever? Can't they do whatever they want? I don't know. I think if
Oh, that's a
that
good
needs
point.
to be, that needs to have a significant role in things. That really needs to inform the story and character, or it's a dumb little goofy.
Oh no,
aside.
something's gonna happen. You
Just to
know, I
make
think
I think that's
not
going to be a
not
big
not to
part
kill
of
her.
the
Don't
narrative.
fridge her to motivate him. It needs to
correct.
be. This has informed Fury's character over these
Mhm.
many years now.
Mhm.
What if she's a spy?
Or
sometimes?
you
Ooh,
know,
what if
or
that's why?
just dumb.
What if that's why he has chosen not to find them a planet?
Or why he stayed in space for so long, and some of us can relate to that. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
That's why he keeps the ring off. Yeah.
He's like, "Are you happy? I
He's
put
like,
the ring back
he's like-
on."
He's just coming down from me like, nah. I'm back
Once
in
you go
space.
green, you never go. I don't know. I can't. I don't have a good.
I just-
I
rhyme
think
with
that explains a lot. Actually,
I want there to be a child. I want there to be a Nick Fury. I
a
want
Nick
there to
Fury
be
love child,
a half human, half Skrull child.
a Scrollman.
You know, the Samuel Jackson Nick Fury is in the comics is like the son of the original Nick Fury. Now maybe we could get like a I don't know how I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah,
like
maybe he
Sergeant
has his
Fury?
own version of that.
like the Sergeant Fury guy from way back.
Yeah.
Well,
Fury's
Sergeant Fury
Talent
is
to
from like the
Marys.
40s or something.
Yeah.
Sergeant Fury's
No,
Howling
that's Sergeant
Commandos.
Rock. Sergeant
Sergeant
Fury.
Well,
Rock.
that's DC. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Sergeant
yeah.
Fury is also real
That's
an
not from the
old.
40s. That's like more much
Sergeant
more
Rock was
Yeah,
from
that was
Nick
yeah.
Fury,
Maybe the 50s.
Nicholas Fury,
Nicholas
was
J.
the
Fury.
white guy with the eye patch, and then
Yeah.
in the Ultimate Universe, they made him Samuel Jackson, and then
Right.
when they wanted to bring that one in because the movies were happening, they just made that his son basically. But not the it's not the Ultimate one, but it's sort of is. It's based on the same character, obviously.
Right.
Which one was David Hasselhoff from the TV movies?
He's the old.
That's the
Nick
most
Fury.
accurate.
That's pre the son being a thing.
That's the
so,
most
yeah.
accurate Nick Fury we've seen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Germans somehow the
Germans
Germans
loved
loved
Nick
that one. They loved that Nick Fury for some reason. I don't know why. So it's kind of weird. Their Hasselhoff love.
Yes.
Don't mess with the Hoff. Okay, we'll be back next week. No, we'll be back Thursday. Oh,
Boom.
go ahead, Garrison. Garrison has something.
You know what? This is a Nick Fury show. Why don't we have David Hasselhoff as like a cameo in this show? I mean, come on. It's like,
Multiverse of Madness.
He's on the outs because he berates his children, or whatever.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he was. There was a little bit of controversy because he was in Guardians 2. That people didn't even like that he would be. That
Thanks, Andrew.
Give him a platform at all.
So the last thing I saw him in was a cameo in some comedy. Was he in Baywatch?
Guardians Volume. He was in Guardians. Yeah,
no, you're right.
He was in
Guardians Volume 2. Yeah,
and Dodgeball.
And
those are the last two places you saw him.
One and the Baywatch movie, he made a cameo.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't.
The one with the Rock.
Saw that.
That's a terrible film, by the way. I'm sorry.
It is. It is. But I saw it. But it is a terrible.
I had some fun with it, but yeah.
Yeah. So this week is going to be a special roundtable of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on Thursday night, 9:00 Central. We will be here to talk about that.
So dial in that time.
And we'll probably have a pretty large panel for that.
Do we have like an ardent defender for the film?
I didn't dislike the film, so I think it's going to be fine.
I didn't dislike the film either, but I'm kind of at the point where like I just
tonight.
am not. Oh yeah, I know.
Yes, that was a great moment in Hasselhoff history.
Yes. Ardent's a strong word.
Great moments in Hasselhoff history.
Yeah.
Drunk lying on the floor trying to eat a.
Who hasn't found themselves in that position?
I mean,
wow,
the Hoff.
We've covered a lot of things tonight.
Garrison, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to at this point? Yeah,
you can find me on Twitter at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3. You can go watch my appearance on the Comic Binge, which I did last Tuesday, talking about Flash recommendations. You want to get into Flash comics? There's a lot of great ones that I was even jealous of some of my co-hosts' picks on that show because they had some excellent picks and some that I kind of overlooked when I was going through my stuff, but. And you can find me on Instagram at GRyfun3 as well. And you can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun, where I'm trying to complete a Mission Impossible rewatch. But that has become kind of a little hard.
I need to start doing that. I haven't started.
You need to start as well.
Oh, yeah. Really you've only got a few weeks, Brett.
It stinks when you watch the first film and you're like, oh, God, I got to watch 2 now. And then you're like, oh, I really don't want to watch 2 right now.
I've seen those. I haven't seen them all, so I may skip. I may be able to skip the first 3 and go right to them.
You absolutely could skip 2. I would recommend still watching 1 and 3 personally, just because.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I've seen those.
Where are they streaming?
Julia and 3 is so major to 6 and is a little bit in the plot of 4.
Yes.
And Kittredge is back in Dead Reckoning, so I feel like
so 1, 3, 4, 5, and you'll be ready for it. Yeah.
6.
I mean, Sure. I think you're good.
What number is this? 7?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. There's gonna be more.
Ted. You haven't seen the last couple. You are missing out.
The last 2.
So maybe I'll just catch up for those.
The last 2 are awesome.
I'll do 4 through 6.
Fallout is legitimately a
great
action.
Fallout is what made me love Henry Cavill more than I already loved him.
Yeah.
I was
Henry
Cavill
this guy is excellent.
He's good in that movie. So good. Earl is just
sponsored by Dunder Mifflin tonight.
Apparently
paper products.
Sponsored by Dunder Mifflin paper products. He is only on the Deucecast Discord. If you want to know what that is, just look up the Deucecast on Twitter or Facebook.
I just posted a new pretentious corner review of Asteroid City.
Yes, you did.
And just glowing reviews.
3.5 monocles.
I only gave it 3.5 monocles.
3.5 monocles.
Not a 5-star with this one.
Okay.
3.5.
3.5 monocles is good. You can find Rhett at mrsfury.com.
No, I'm teaching you can subscribe. I'm doing a master class on world building and decent writing.
Oh, okay. I'd be interested to see that master class.
I would go to that.
Okay. He accepts Dogecoin only for payment.
He does have an IMDb credit.
Iraqi dinari is all I take.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rhett does have an IMDb credit, so you can look up Rhett.
Credit,
speaking of masterclass, here's Master Chef Melissa coming in at the last minute here. What's going on, Melissa? So we'll be back on Thursday. I'm excited about talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the last Indiana Jones thing that we'll ever get.
For him,
it may be the last.
For him,
releases. They're going to fold after that flop.
Like Lucasfilm will?
No, Disney altogether is going to bring the whole organization down.
No.
No.
The old Princess Castle is going to topple.
It's going to crumble. No way. Appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat. We had a good group in there. We had Brian, Ted, Andrew, Matt, Melissa. The Discord is Deucecord, but you could probably look it up as the Deucecast, Andrew, and just look us up on Twitter and DM me, and I'll send you a link to the Deucecord. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. We talk TV, movies, all kinds of fun stuff. I don't think there's actually a comics channel because I don't know how many of us actually.
We could start it.
I read comics, but I don't know how many of the.
Dude,
we could. We could start a comic channel. Maybe we need to.
It would be 90% Garrison talking about the Flash.
90% Garrison talking about the Flash.
I talk about Micronauts comics. I will probably do that every time I read a Flash.
Maybe we need to add a comics channel. I don't know. Anyways,
comics. That we could.
We will definitely see all you guys on Thursday to talk about some Indiana Jones. Hope everybody has a great night. Go watch a movie or some TV or something, and watch Secret Invasion over and over again. And if anybody ever finds out like the name of that general that Talos mentioned, just please DM me. I'm losing sleep over it as I speak.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Yeah, it's an very important scene, Dr. Earl. Yeah. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night.